update in the Minneapolis Monsters case. In case you didn't notice, MSNBC, CNN, most of the mainstream media have long since, most of the mainstream media have completely ignored this story after the first day it happened. I have not done so. I have continued to follow up and try to fix my camera here. It looks a little slanty danty, but anyway, I guess I have to fix that later. This one is odd. The parents are acting a little weird. They're not cooperating with police. Did they have some sort of advanced knowledge? I don't know. But it seems like they would want to cooperate if they had nothing to do with it. So let's get into the story. By the way, the Meta PCs giveaway is running throughout the weekend. Very easy. There's a link in the description to enter to win a free Meta PCs gaming PC. All you have to do is be subscribed or following the channel, and you get an extra entry if you subscribe to Quartering Live, which is my live stream only channel on YouTube. So you can get up to 2 entries. And so far, I know only like 500 or 600 people have been entering. So you have a pretty good chance. So subscribe to Quartering Live and leave a comment on a video and be subscribed where you are now and win very easily. Also, shout out to Sheath. Longtime channel sponsor, has their Labor Day sale this weekend. Promo code LABOR35. Love their product, and they've been a long time supporter of the channel. So give them a pickup this weekend. Minneapolis monster Robin Westman's mother, Mary Grace, not cooperating with police and hires a criminal defense attorney. Mother of trans monster Robin Westman is not cooperating with police in the investigation and has hired a criminal defense attorney in the wake of the incident that happened just a few days ago. Mary Grace Westman, who worked at Annunciation Catholic Church, which was targeted by deranged 23-year-old trans lunatic Wednesday morning, has not contacted police nor responded to their attempts to try and reach her. Minneapolis police have announced a press conference. They announced at a press conference on Thursday, quote, "We have not been successful in talking to the loser's mother," Police Chief Brian O'Hara. Now, I don't know if their mother and father are not together anymore or, what the case may be. I'm not totally sure. Let's see. He provided no further details on communications, but revealed police executed 4 search warrants on Wednesday and retrieved hundreds of pieces of evidence, including electronic devices. Interesting. The chief was talking about how, we've got to protect our trans community. So maybe that's what this woman is doing. Now, I think federal law enforcement should absolutely be taking over. I mean, they received hundreds of pieces of evidence, including electronic devices. He also made a notice. He also made a reference to, hey, don't read my journals. Well, what journals would that be? What is in those journals? Mary Grace signed Robin's legal name change in 2020 from Robert to Robin in apparent support of his gender identity change. In a manifesto, a recording of which was posted to YouTube, Robin lamented that he had been brainwashed. I only kept the long hair because it's pretty much my last shred of being trans. I'm tired of being trans. I wish I never brainwashed myself, he wrote, according to a translation of the document conducted by the Post. I can't cut my hair now. We now talk about I regret being trans. Now, maybe that has something to do with, why they ended up doing what they did. I don't know. It seems like, did they have gender reassignment surgery? Did they have, anything like that? I don't know. It's difficult to know when, we don't know anything. And then when we look at, local police and the way that they handle it, We don't know what they're covering up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I don't know where the, how much evidence that they're going to actually share with us. It certainly seems like the mayor isn't going to be interested in helping us, help us with anything, really. The mayor says, hey, don't worry about the victims. We need to worry about, any potential, the community. We need to worry about the community. That's what they say, That's what I think, at least in my opinion. Here are the video of the cops descending on the mom's home. Well,
it really is up to the parent to.
Again, you see federal agents now descended on a Florida condo belonging to the mother of trans school lunatic Robin Westman after she refused to cooperate with authorities investigating the attack. Plainclothes FBI agents could be seen in video footage arriving at Mary Grace Westman's Naples, Florida condominium and banging on the door as the windows and shades were shuttered. When they received no answer at the front door, the agents scurried to the back door, but also had no success there either. Well, perhaps they should have tried on her birthday. I don't know. That seems like maybe on, I don't know. The feds were apparently not the only ones looking to speak with Westman. On Wednesday, in the hours after the incident, deputy vehicles from the local county sheriff's office were seen circling the Berkshire Lakes condominium complex. Federal response came to her home as it was revealed police received disturbing calls from the family's Minneapolis home earlier this year. Well. It is now believed that Mary Grace fled the home Wednesday as police in Minneapolis have not been able to speak to her concerning the 23-year-old child's horrific crime. Now, wait a minute. Let me read that sentence again. The federal response came to her home as it was revealed police received disturbing calls from the family's Minneapolis home earlier this year. What were those calls? How come we're just hearing about that now? How come we're just hearing about this now? And now she fled the home? Pretty interesting. An 8 and a 10-year-old are no longer alive. We have not been successful in talking to the individual's mother. I don't know if maybe the dad had passed away. I don't know. Hours later, it emerged that Mary Grace had retained an attorney to represent her out of an abundance of caution. She is completely distraught about the situation and has no culpability, but is seeking an attorney to deal with calls like this. Attorney Ryan Gary told Fox News. Well, what were those disturbing phone calls made? How long, in the comments, how long is it going to take until we get they were known to the FBI line? How long before she was known to the FBI? How long until we know? Meanwhile, Naples residents were left shocked as news of Mary Grace's connection to the Minneapolis incident spread. She had worked at Annunciation Church School until her retirement back in 2021, and Robin, who previously went by Robert, until changing names in 2019 to reflect as identifying as a woman. It was shocking, as in I always is with great tragedy, someone who wants to hurt kids especially. But when hearing how close it was to home, it was pretty shocking. She talked about quite highly, and she's always been very helpful of a lot of the neighbors when neighbors were in need. I feel bad. I feel sad that these kids things need to happen now. I feel bad for everyone in Minnesota. Gadzooks, it reminds me of that character. That movie, what's that red-haired character from the 80s show? Back in Minneapolis, local outlets reported that Mary Grace was also in disbelief when she learned her child was the perpetrator. As neighbors told the New York Post, they had always seemed like a great family. Stephen Jagloski recounted how his jaw dropped when he saw the news, revealing that he last spoke to the family around 2 years ago when they were celebrating a graduation. He recalled the Westman family stopping in and asking him to take some photos of their celebrations, and they seemed like a great family. There were kids running around, parents drinking, music playing. Their little chihuahua nipped me in the ankle, he added. They gave me a beer, and I went on my way. I guess you never know somebody or who they are. Now, in January 2018, a police officer in Eagan, Minnesota, was dispatched to the family's home over a mental health issue, according to a heavily redacted police report. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. By the way, a lot of this deep dive reporting happens on my live stream, so I hope that you'll subscribe to Quartering Live, not just to win a free gaming computer from Meta PCs, but to actually get these deep dives. And by the way, if you don't win it, promo code The Quartering will save you money on Meta PCs. So if you don't win it and you're in the market, make sure you get yours from them. The officer notes that the report he had assisted Mendota Heights with a welfare check on a juvenile. So it was him. The name of that juvenile and exactly what prompted the police to be summoned to the 3-bedroom home were redacted. Why were they redacted? Why were they redacted? Was that the mayor protecting the trans community? Why? I mean, yes, it could be redacted because it was a minor, I suppose, but I would say maybe we should look at that. Police were also dispatched to the Westwood home 2 years prior when they responded to a report of a criminal offense. But the report also blacks out all of the details describing the event. Still, O'Hara had said authorities did not have any information indicating that the school loser suffered from any type of mental illness. Really? But what about those 2 phone calls? Very, very interesting. Now they reveal the police had been called to the home multiple times before. I can't imagine, and we're far away from people saying that he was known from police. Make sure you keep it locked in here for all the latest breaking news, and make sure you enter to win your free Meta PCs gaming computer. All you have to do is be subscribed to the channel and subscribe to Quartering Live, which is my live stream channel. Tune in there, leave a comment, link in the description to enter, and we'll talk to you again real soon.